Good morning. It's Sunday morning. It's 8 a.m. now. I did a little intro this morning from my setup, which I can show you right over here. Let me just take you over there. I'll show you my setup right over here. As you can see, it fared the weather. It stayed warm. I have my phone charging. It died last night, and I don't want anyone to think that I'm dead because I'm very much alive. But we definitely got more snow than we were anticipating. But as you can see, the emergency blanket stayed dry. I am glad that I brought it. We're a little bit cold. We're trying to get the fire started again now, and then I'm going to make some coffee and get us at least a little warmed up here. But we should, I'll be back with you once we start making some food, some breakfast, and some coffee. So it's still about, I'd say 30 degrees out right now. We're getting a fire stoked up. It's taking a little bit because everything got wet last night with the snow. You can see all the snow behind me. I mean, it's not a heavy dusting or anything. I mean, it's a heavy dusting, I would say, but not like it was laying like crazy. But anyway, I'm gonna try and warm us up by getting some coffee going. I need to rip down that shelter because it's gonna cause interference with all my later videos. But I got this recipe off of Cowboy Kent Rollins. I don't know if you watch him or not. Oh, that smells good. I have a coffee pot here. I filled it full of 8 cups of water, which is why I brought one of these things. And then you just put it on your stove here, and I have the Murdered Out, I think is what it's the darkest coffee that Black Rifle Coffee Company comes out with. So hopefully this doesn't burn coffee, and it cooks better coffee than it does SpaghettiOs. We're pushing it to its limits, I'm not gonna lie with that on there. Plus it's not on the most level of surfaces. But anyway, in order to make this coffee, you take a 1/4 cup of coffee grinds to 4 cups of water. So that's the easiest way I can think of to remember it. 4 cups of water, 1/4 cup of coffee. But I put 8 cups of water in here. You let it kind of warm up just a little bit, which I have a feeling with this burner, it's not going to take long to either cut a hole in my in my coffee pot or heat up the coffee. But when it starts to get to boiling, you put this in, and you can leave the lid on, but I've had a couple boilovers, and let me tell you, they are messy. So I always leave the lid off so I can watch it. Once it gets to a rolling boil, you time it for 5 minutes, 5 minutes give or take on that rolling boil. Take it off the heat, let it sit for a little bit, and then you take a little bit of cold water and pour it around the edges, and it'll bring all the coffee grinds down to the bottom. You still get a couple coffee grinds in your coffee, I'm not gonna lie, but I like it the best this way. It takes that real, like, what's the best word I can think of, like the bitterness out of the coffee. So I drink my coffee black regardless, but this is the best way to have it. So once it gets to boiling, I'll get the camera back rolling. So I took it off the burner because I'm going to be making potatoes and deer steaks this morning for breakfast. And it was taking a little bit longer than I anticipated. Of course, I have an electric stove at home, so that takes even longer. But I ended up just taking it and putting it down on the coals from last night and put the lid on it. We'll check it here in a couple minutes and see how it's boiling. When I say roll and boil, this is what I'm talking about, when it's like really bubbling in there. We ended up throwing it on the fire, like I said, and I moved it closer to the coals. Now we got a nice roll and boil, so I'll time this for 5 minutes and I'll take it off and let it rest for a couple minutes, and then we'll be back at it. We got some deer steaks and potatoes here. The only thing I don't like about this stove is that it only cooks in like one spot. You can see it's boiling right there, which causes stuff like this to burn. So it's not a bad option, it's just not the best option in my personal opinion. But I get it, it's small, it's compact. I mean, it's just this right here. But coffee's done too. I just poured some water in the base of it and took it out. It's sitting right over there. But yeah, we're cooking up breakfast now. Should be ready here in a couple of minutes. So it's what did we decide? What time was it? 9:30?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's about 9:30. We just finished lunch or breakfast. We're gonna stay out here till noon, like I said. Got my coffee. Breakfast was okay. So just kind of wanted to do a little bit of a rundown of last night. I did some on the GoPro, but I could not believe how well my setup worked, truthfully. The sleeping bag, although thin, did keep me really warm with the emergency blanket sleeping bag on top of it, and then the inflatable mattress stayed inflated all night too. It did lose a little bit of air, but not enough to drop anything, like put me on the ground or anything. But with that setup, honestly, I feel confident saying you could stay out in colder weather. Now my feet did get cold, but I don't know if my feet were wet and I should have changed my socks, if I would have brought another change of socks. If it was the socks, these boots are not waterproof. I tried waterproofing them. They're still not waterproof. They're good boots, they're just not waterproof. So, I mean, to me, if you're gonna have a set of boots, they should be waterproof, or at least water resistant. But yeah, we're just gonna hang out here. I did notice when I moved my mattress and stuff from last night, there's actually marks in the ground where it's like wet from me laying in that spot. So that's how warm I was. There's actually condensation inside the bag. So, I mean, truthfully, if you wanted to get one of those little sleeping bags, I would recommend it if you have room. I mean, it comes out to be like this big, so you can't go wrong with that. Pants have kept me warm all night, all day, night, into the next day. The jacket's warm-ish. It's definitely not like if I didn't have the Under Armour on, it wouldn't be as warm. But I actually didn't even wear the jacket last night to bed, because that's how warm I was. I was just wearing my pants, socks, my Under Armour shirt, my t-shirt. Worked pretty good for me. And I thought I was cold until I opened up I leaned out of the sleeping bag a little bit and realized what cold actually was. So all in all, I slept pretty well last night. I only sleep 6 hours usually, so I went to bed at about midnight and woke up at 6. So, but yeah, we're just gonna kind of relax and enjoy nature for the next couple hours. I'm sure we'll have something else to film, and then I'll do a rundown of everything that we used in the video. I did want to say this while I have this up. We tried cooking the potatoes and deer steak, and I'm sure there's a way, because I know those stoves are popular, those like miniature stoves, because I've seen them other places, but it's just hard to cook on, because even when I was making the SpaghettiOs, like, it burnt all the sauce at the bottom because it's so much heat in one spot. And I don't know if that's a stove fault, but I can't say I wouldn't recommend the stove. I wouldn't recommend that kind of stove, but if you know how to work one of those kind of stoves, like, efficiently, and it works, then that stove has worked for me 100%. I actually used it to start the fire this morning because it's electric clicker. So all I had to do was turn on the gas, hit the clicker, and I had a flame. So then I just used it to light up some kindling, and it went. So it works perfectly. I don't like it personally, but I can't say that it's bad if you know how to use one of those stoves. So we'll be back here in a little bit, and like I said, we're just gonna kind of stay warm and enjoy nature for the next couple of hours. So as the Wish camping trip comes to an end, I just wanted to do a little review on all the stuff. I know I've been giving them all reviews as I go along, but I wanted to do one total review of each thing. So we'll start out with the clothes. Obviously the jacket, nice and warm. The pants, they're comfortable, warm. I can't recommend these pants enough. I'll have the links all down below for everything in this last video, but the boots, they're okay. That's all I can say about them. The wool socks worked well, but the boots didn't keep me completely warm. And they get wet like very easily because they are made of just cloth. So I even sprayed them with some water shielding stuff, and it just, you can get a better pair of boots in my opinion for 36 bucks, I think is what I paid for them. The sleeping bag worked amazingly well, surprisingly well, I should say. I was super warm this morning. The emergency bag that I slept in did perfectly, and the mattress perfect. I can't say anything more about those. It was around, I think that all total was about 70 bucks. Because sleeping, no, it was about 50 bucks. Because the mattress is actually the most expensive, but that was totally worth it as well. The camp cooking stove, it works. I can say that about it. I don't know how to work them apparently well, because we tried cooking on it this morning twice, and I tried cooking last night, and it just burns one spot. It almost needs something to dissipate that, the surface area of the flame. The shovel, for a multi-tool off of Wish, I gotta give it an A+. It wasn't, not the most durable with like the accessories, but the shovel part of it works. You saw the Ferris rod works. The knife strikes the Ferris rod, so it works. The axe head on the shovel works well for an axe head on a shovel. It's not the greatest axe, but we took it out several times, which I have videos of, you saw in the video. We took it out several times gathering kindling last night and just use it to chop things down. I did work on a tree yesterday as well. I didn't get it cut down completely, but if I would have stayed with it, it wasn't the most comfortable to chop at consistently, but for little trees and branches, it worked perfect, just how we wanted it to. The saw on it was so-so. It worked. Again, it wasn't the greatest, but as a shovel, and last night I had to revise my tent area, and I had to put another stake down in the ground that I didn't show on camera, but once again, I just stuck the shovel right down in through rocks, through roots, and it just dug right through. So for a shovel, it works pretty well. The Life Straw, I don't have dysentery right now, so I would say it works. I mean, I was drinking out of a beaver pond, and it was pretty stagnant looking water with a lot of algae in it. But yeah, everything I bought pretty much worked exactly how I wanted it to. I just wouldn't wear these boots ever again. Oh, and this kept me warm pretty much all night. And I've been wearing it since I woke up, and pretty much all day yesterday except for when I went to sleep. So making the final preparations to close up camp here, but we'll do an outro video as well, or an outro to this video. And yeah, it's 11 o'clock, so we got about another hour to go, and we'll be on the road and hopefully have all these videos up soon. And it is noon, so we're gonna be packing it up today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you leave a like, comment down below, and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new here. I know a lot of you will be staying home in the next couple of weeks, so I figured I'd give you something to spend your time with. If you'd like to see me do more challenges like this, where I'd take out a whole new set of gear, and you have ideas, make sure you leave links down below. If they don't appear right away, it's because YouTube has a policy about posting links, and they automatically flag it as spam, and then I have to go back and unflag it. So but make sure you leave links to stuff you want to see down below. I did actually see, when we were back here, I did have service, so I was looking through my phone, and I found a camping set of like pots and pans. So I might end up buying one of those, and I really enjoyed doing this. I mean, we just it was just another day of camping for us, but it was fun using all the Wish stuff, and I was actually surprised at how well it all performed. So any ideas for future videos, leave them down in the comments down below. Thank you to my Patreon supporters for supporting this video and the channel. There's a link down below if you'd like to join that. As always, make sure you guys have yourselves a wonderful day. I've been Pyro.